I'm David Rutizer. My website is creativedavid.com. And this is a poem called Sleep. In a box of night dark, my eyes fuzz shut. Beneath the blanket's soft snuggle, breathing. 1, 2. Lying on my back, 1 breath. 2. My left arm raised above my head, my right come to rest on my chest. 1, 2. Heave and retreat, the ocean waves of the noise machine arch and relax. 1, 2. And slowly, ideas, thoughts, take form to offer themselves into the pattern of alternating silence and sound. In all the black dark in which I sleep, a lone spider sits in stillness, her brown body softly curled into a comma after the radiator. Thoughts arise and float down to disappear quick as a glimpse, like parade entrance in the rain. They will keep going, too, endlessly down that quiet river, but the few I manage to salvage and hold out to you in the harsh glint of morning. I believe in little things that you can hardly see, like honeycomb and spider web and starfish in the sea. I believe in little things like icy drops of rain that melt into a warning mist when wind blows warm again. I believe in little things like colors in the sky and noticing the waves roll in and how the flowers die and knowing they'll come back again whenever there's July. I believe in little things like you and me, and just how big little things can be. This is a poem I wrote in 2017 called Fairy Tale. There's the sun, smallest servant, fighting isolation, turning off the fireplace, watering the schefflera that survived the parents' marriage and divorce, his father's remarriage and re-divorce, his own birth. There's the mother, lovely but fragile, the doily on her neck hiding the peephole cut's mucus. There's the father, distant, disloyal, stingy, his harem of worshippers scattered over hemispheres, women who, unlike him, speak other languages and leave the if the father disappears from contact for more than a few days. There's the home itself, a sort of Rapunzel chimney in red brick with ants in the spring and bookshelves that close in by centimeters. For many years, the mother makes tea and serves sweets to the neighbor ladies who come to her dining table to play cards. But they see the son scowl every morning. They hear swearing, the slamming of doors, the slapping of faces, and once, even the thud of her body, defeated. One day in late fall, the neighbor ladies lift her, immobile, into the ambulance they called for her. Days later, she wishes they hadn't come to visit her, a pale and delicate shell, and hear the trickling into the urine bag, the gasping for breath. After she dies, the son decides to run away to a country where the people speak a language of ovals and dashes. He would rather try than wither away in the brick fortress without money or work. But the neighbor ladies and friends don't know that part of the story. They think he's brave. Oh, the rain comes a pitter-patter, and I'd like to be safe in bed. Skies are weeping while the world is sleeping, trouble heaping on our head. It is vain to remain and chatter, and to wait for a clearer sky. Helter skelter, I must fly for shelter till the clouds roll by. This next poem is entitled Mother's Day. The dress I bought, patchwork of dark printed petals, stamens stitched into the fabric's indigo dusk, fits her perfectly. Already it has given her some of that same peace. How she first walked out the bedroom doorway, beaming like a flower. Now there are curves I never knew she had. And oh, she is one formidable bloom this bright morning, shining from a face that has suited her fine. And I dare anyone to look and call her token of a prior time, the outdated, unfulfilled servant of immigrant parents, crumpled by unspoken wishes and thyroid cancer. For 1 second to mistake her for the clinging woman-child whose object of care scolded her for not attending college, for varicose veins encasing her legs. This is the woman my father made walk 5 paces behind him in public. As I watch her time-chafed body maintain the shape of perseverance, claim this garment that hastens the blossom colors of yesteryear, I realize my own hardened intention. I hope to help her unravel every lie, thread by thread. Well, I'd like to visit the moon on a rocket ship high in the air. Yes, I'd like to visit the moon, but I don't think I'd like to live there. Though I'd like to look down at the earth from above. I would miss all the places and people I love. So although I might like it for one afternoon, I don't want to live on the moon. Yes, I'd travel under the sea. I would meet all the whales everywhere. Yes, I'd travel under the sea, but I don't think I'd like to live there. I might stay for a day there if I had my wish, but there's not much to do when your friends are all fish, and an oyster or clam isn't real family, so I don't want to live in the sea. I would visit the jungle, hear the lions roar, or go back in time and meet a dinosaur. There are so many strange places I'd like to be, but none of them permanently. So if I could visit the moon, I would dance on a moonbeam, and then I would make a wish on a star, and I'd wish to be home once again. Though I'd like to look down at the earth from above, I would miss all the places and people I love. So although I may roam, I'll be coming home soon, 'cause I don't want to live on the moon. No, I don't want to live on the moon. Thank you. I'm David Rutizer. Let's see. I'm 52 years old. I'm originally from the Chicago area. I have lived here in Portland, Oregon most of the time since 1987. I write poetry and essays. I sing. I play piano and ukulele. I folk dance. I teach creative writing and folk dancing. I also do work with English as a second language. Thank you all for coming to my show and for all of your support. And special thanks to Karen Dale for her help today in creating this musical virtual visit for all of you. This poem is called, or this is actually more of a short prose piece, really. It's called In the West. March 1987. I had never seen red earth with deep green pines etched in snow. Over the pass and then down into Laramie. Suddenly, I was in the West, driving all the way from Iowa, where I'd been kicked out of college, to Oregon, where my mom had moved in the meantime, abandoning me. From Chicago, land of straight streets and exact diagonals into the flat horizon, a city of blocks into suburbs. I'd visited California and Oregon via plane. On the way to Oregon with my mom, we'd descended into Salt Lake City, marveling at multi-layered cliffs. But I had never really driven into the mountains. I was 18 and didn't think about politics. The ranches on either side, with snow-capped mountains towering above them, with people in cowboy hats and jeans, felt exciting and patriotic. I listened to the only radio stations whose signal came in. Country. Someone named Earl Thomas Conley lamenting, Love don't care whose heart it breaks. I listened and sang along. My mom hadn't believed me when I told her, and Ichiro, my foreign exchange roommate, had asked, "Do you know what people are saying about you?" As I made my way west, I surely drove past the exact spot where, 13 years later, a young man the age I was now would hang beaten, bloodied, and burned from a fence post outside one of those ranches, beneath those same imposing mountains, for being gay, like me. This is a poem called Driving Past the Hospital Where My Mother Died. I almost forgot. But surely, somewhere behind that parking garage, in the room where she lay gasping for a few days one fall, many others by now have occupied the same bed, stripped countless times of the sheets that each has died in. And we writers, isn't it our gamble that someday, long after us, someone will pull us off a shelf and wrap themselves in the sheets of our words here in the great hospital room of the living? Everything went wrong, and the whole day long I'd feel so blue. For the longest while I'd forget to smile. Then I met you. Now that my blue days have passed, now that I found you at last, I'll be loving you always, with a love that's true, always. When the things you planned need a helping hand, I will understand always, always. Days may not be fair, always. That's when I'll be there, always. Not for just an hour, not for just a day, not for just a year, but always. Days may not be fair, always. That's when I'll be there, always. Not for just an hour, not for just a day, not for just a year, but always. Thank you. That was the David Show for you today, June 21st, 2020. That's a Sunday. And now, somewhere in here, several of you have contacted me individually to ask how I'm doing and how you can be of support. Thank you. Like many in this time, I'm rethinking how to financially sustain myself. I'm excited to announce a couple of projects I'll be doing: an online show, which this has been, which we will be doing more chapters of, more installments in, and a series of creative writing classes. I'll also be offering my skills as a writing coach, editor, proofreader, and tutor, including ESL, and looking at other possibilities over the summer. If you're interested in how to contribute to these efforts, please contact me individually, and I will add you to my own email list. You may also friend me on Facebook or look at my website, which is creativedavid.com. Again, that's creativedavid.com for more information. With my appreciation, David.